It was the dream home. 657 Boulevard, Westfield, New Jersey. 6 bedrooms, a big yard, perfect for Derek and Maria Broaddus and their 3 kids. June 2014. They'd poured their savings into this Dutch colonial, ready to make it their own. The future looked bright. They started renovations before moving in. Derek stopped by after work, checking on progress, imagining family memories. One evening he checked the mailbox. Inside, a plain white envelope addressed to the new owner. The letter started friendly but quickly turned sinister. The writer claimed their family had watched the house for generations. The Broadduses, the letter said, were now part of that obsession. Signed, The Watcher. The dream curdled into a nightmare. The letter referenced the house's history, asked if they'd found what was in the walls. It mentioned their children, called them young blood. The Watcher wanted to know their names, which rooms they'd sleep in. It was a chilling intrusion, the promise of a safe home shattered by a single letter. Suddenly, the beautiful house felt haunted by an unseen presence. The Broadduses' excitement turned to dread. They hadn't even moved in but already felt violated. The Watcher's words hung over them, darkening every hope. The house was no longer a dream, it was a threat. The Broadduses faced a terrifying question. Who was watching them? The letter was just the beginning. Their American dream was about to become a waking nightmare. The Watcher had made their presence known. The Broadduses' lives would never be the same. The house on the boulevard had a secret, and now so did they. The shadow of the Watcher had fallen, the nightmare had begun, and there was no waking up. The Watcher's letter was poison. It referenced the house's past, the family's children, even renovations. The details were disturbingly specific. The Watcher claimed the house was anxious for the family to move in. The Broadduses felt exposed. Someone was watching, taking notes. The threats were veiled, but unmistakable. Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. The house felt alive, hungry. Panic set in. They contacted the previous owners, the Woods family. No history of letters, except one odd, unsigned note before moving out. The Broadduses went to the police. An investigation began, but there was no crime, just a terrifying letter. The sense of being watched was overwhelming. The dream home was now a stage for someone else's twisted game. The Broadduses were trapped, actors in a play written by a stranger. The Watcher knew too much, too soon. The family's fear grew with every passing day. The American dream was slipping away. The Watcher was just getting started, and the Broadduses were powerless to stop it. The Broadduses put moving in on hold. The house sat empty, renovations abandoned. Derek installed alarms, cameras, hired investigators. He watched live feeds, desperate for answers, but the Watcher was a ghost, never seen, always present. Fear followed them everywhere. Then more letters arrived, angrier, more personal. The Watcher now knew their names, their children's nicknames. Paranoia set in. Was someone listening or even inside the house? Every neighbor became a suspect. The Broadduses owned a home they were too afraid to enter. The Watcher's letters were psychological torture. Their dream was now a prison. The family was trapped by fear and by the Watcher's words. The nightmare deepened. News spread fast in Westfield. Sympathy for the Broadduses turned to suspicion. Some neighbors thought it was a hoax, a ploy to escape a bad deal. The family became suspects in their own story. The community was divided, supportive or skeptical. The Broadduses felt isolated, trapped between a faceless tormentor and public doubt. Police investigated neighbors, especially the Langfords next door. DNA on an envelope, female saliva, matched no one nearby. The Watcher remained a ghost. Then, new letters appeared. This time, targeting families who supported the Broadduses. Signed, Friends of the Broaddus family. They sowed more chaos. Was it the Watcher, or someone else? The neighborhood's fabric unraveled, suspicion poisoning the air. The Broadduses were fighting on all fronts. The Watcher's shadow grew. The town was no longer safe. Fear had taken root. After years in limbo, the Broadduses sold the house at a loss. The new owners moved in, and the letters stopped. The Watcher vanished as mysteriously as they'd appeared. The Broadduses found closure but no answers. Years later, a journalist noticed the letters used the children's secret nicknames. How could anyone know? Police wondered. Was the Watcher inside the house during renovations? A former resident? A neighbor? Or someone hiding in the walls? The case remains unsolved. The Watcher's identity is still a mystery. The house stands peaceful now, but the ghost of 657 Boulevard lingers, watching, waiting.